everyone, and welcome to the Code for Kids webinar. We have some special guests with us tonight. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, so you should be able to see that. Tonight's webinar is featuring Ram Marco. And so if you are following on Twitter, please use the hashtag Code for Kids, and the bit.ly links there for access to the event page. And if you can just select that you are going to watch this just for numbers, so we can see how many people are interested in watching this this live. And we're going to use the question and answer app tonight. So if you're not sure where to find that, up in the top right-hand corner there is a Q&A. Just press that and you'll be able to ask questions to the presenters at any time. So my name is Kelly Moore, and I have a real love for coding with kids, and so therefore I've started a bit of an initiative here, and hopefully you're enjoying watching the webinars and looking at the website to get lots of information, things that you can do with your class. We welcome Costas all the way from Greece tonight. So it's 1 p.m. over there, but it's very cold and late here. But he is the founder and CEO of All Can Code. He's a computer scientist, and he has 25 years of professional experience in software engineering, and he's beginning to use code to develop programs such as All Can Code. We also have Vasilis, who leads one-to-one computing team. Is the lead of a one-to-one computing team. He's all about best practice in schools in Greece, and is an expert in many things computer science. So I'm going to switch over to Costas now, who is going to tell us a little bit more about himself.
Okay, so hi, I'm Costas. I would like to add to what Kelly said before, that everything started with All Can Code a few years ago, when I wanted to teach my son how to code and couldn't find a tool that was appropriate for that. So now he's almost 10 years old, and he's our primary, advisor and best team member, advising us every time whether what we do is appropriate for kids or not.
And Vasilis, a little bit about yourself.
Hello, I am Vasilis Ikonomou. I am the IT manager and IT and education specialist at Duka School since 1924. From 2004, I am the head of the Duka School one-to-one computing team, which aims to introduce and develop the student personal computer into the educational procedure. I have participated as a researcher and an analyst programmer in more than 20 projects concerning ICT in education and in special education as well.
Fantastic. Okay. Costas, we might just go back to you for a minute. You're going to share just a bit of an introduction to All Can Code.
Yes, I think the best way to start is to say a few words about the company, about All Can Code, and then Vasilis can take his turn and talk about how he has implemented it in his school. So at All Can Code, we are developing a platform for coding, which is based on an adventure game that kids can play and learn how to code. But it also includes a collection of tools that allow teachers to implement it in the classroom, including extending the curriculum, allowing kids to practice what they have learned in making their own games, and so on. I will talk more about that after Vasilis, so let's hear a teacher implementing the product in the classroom.
So we'll hear from Vasilis now, because he has to go back to class. So we'll jump in quickly so that we can listen to how he has used Run Marco in his class.
Hello, everyone. Again, I'm very happy to be with you today. I hope you will find my presentation useful, although my English is not very good.
That's okay.
Let me share some thoughts with you. Some students get bored in class, sometimes, not always, thank God. Sometimes they feel confused. They do not show any interest for the lesson. They also disappointed. They also get disappointed. Students would like to do something different. Let's ask ourselves, do we cut imagination and skill and wills? On the other hand, we also wonder what code is all about. Some say it is a language of communication. Some others say it's a special skill or way of thinking. But if you ask me, I believe it also means creativity without limits. Let's see now who can code. Anybody can code, that's for sure. If so, how can we start coding? With Run Marco, which is an early guided programming environment with gamification elements. We use it for 6 months, 1 hour per week in grades 4 and 5 at our school. In the first session, a group of 22 students sitting in individual desks watch a video titled "Anybody in this country should learn how to program a computer because it teaches you to think." The teacher stops the video each time he has something important to discuss with his students. For example, what is a programmer? What professions depend on computers? How many jobs requiring computer programming will exist in the future? The video's music helps create a happy mood. The next activity starts with a question by the teacher. Would you like to program the movement of your schoolmate? The answer comes right away. Yes, yes, yes. The teacher adds, we need a volunteer who will cover his eyes. The answer comes from everybody. Me. So the volunteer students become Marco. Marco is lost somewhere in the classroom and has to follow specific orders, commands, to get to the door. Only 3 commands are written on the whiteboard. Step forward, turn right, and turn left. The teacher says, we will only use this command to guide Marco get to the door. In the second session, students sit in their individual desks in a collaborative setup with their student tablet and start the application Run Marco. The teacher tells them that Marco is lost in the jungle and has to find his way out through an escape path. The main objectives for students are to connect cause and effect, the command effect on the avatar, use command styles with the required serial structure, understand the basic movement commands of the avatar, like go forward and turn left, understand serial structure or sequence of commands. So each student tries to design a way to help Marco reach the end of the path. Therefore, he has to check Marco's direction, choose the bookmark of the available commands on the notepad, drag the turn left command on the command page, count these tiles left starting from the one he already is, drag the step forward command and drop it under the first command, repeat the previous task as many times as the tiles Marco has to step on. Students can experiment with the commands in order to believe the best result and understand how they work. They get assistance by the teacher and feedback by the environment. The next sessions follow the same pattern. In the fifth session, the teacher says, let's help Marco reach the end of the path with a few commands. The objectives are to help students understand the repeat structure, connect the command to its result, and use a specific number of repetitions in order to understand later the motion of variable. Students will learn how to use the repeat structure to avoid using many times the same command step forward, and therefore improve the code which moves Marco. They will use the repeat variable as well as the turning right and left commands in the appropriate positions after the repeat structure. This is how 15 sessions were completed. Students discovered basic programming notions such as variable, selection structure, repeat structure, etc., acquired skills, developed their analytic, synthetic, and combinatory thought in a pleasant and playful way. What do you think? Is this game creative, pleasant, useful, and effective? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vasilis. I know you have to go, so we'll let you go. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so let me. So Vasilis gave us some thoughts on how Run Marco can be implemented in the classroom and how they used it. And let me get into more detail about the company. So as I said before, we are building a platform, a learning platform. So it's not only the game, but it's also a set of tools around it. And Run Marco has been featured in code.org website for last year's Hour of Code. And we are also partners with brainpop.com, their game app platform. So what we are doing is we try to make, as Vasilis said, the learning process as fun as possible. And we design the game in a way that in the kids' eyes, it's like an entertainment game, and as we say internally, the learning process is a kind of a side effect. So we want students to forget that this is an educational application and think that they are playing for fun. So what they have to do is they have to guide Marco, the main character. We will soon add a female character, a girl character, Sophia. So they need to guide the character through a path by giving him step-by-step instructions. The programming language that we're using is, as you can see, a visual one, and it's the one developed and provided by Google. It's called Blockly, and it's the same language that is used by the code.org exercises and tutorials. And it looks like this language is going to be very soon the standard for visual programming. The curriculum that is currently available teaches 3 building blocks of programming. One is the sequence of commands, putting commands or instructions one after the other, and the concept that computers execute them one after the other. Iteration in terms of asking the computer, or Marco in our case, because this is how kids are looking at, seeing it, asking the computer to execute a sequence of commands more than one times, or while a condition holds true. And of course, conditions that can let computer or Marco do different things depending on whether a condition is holds true or not. For example, if there is a rock obstacle in front of Marco, then we ask Marco to jump over it. There is a lot of discussion lately in the community whether it's more appropriate for kids to start from a visual programming language or start directly coding in a real programming language. What studies? There are a lot of studies that have been done on this, and it looks like it's much easier for kids to understand the basic concepts using a visual tool where they don't need to struggle with special characters, symbols, and structure or grammar that you can find in real programming languages. I have just a slide here. You can take a look. This is some code from a web application. So you can see how complicated it can be and how difficult it is for young coders, even for adults that are just starting to learn how to code. It's really difficult to understand and grasp from the beginning, and it's all about separating the learning of the concepts of the building blocks and the concepts of programming from learning how to express those concepts in a specific language. And what is true for professional developers like me is that if you learn one programming language, whatever the structure or the syntax of the language is, whether it's a visual one or it's text-based, then once you have grasped the basic concepts of programming, and if you have grasped computational thinking, then you can learn whatever other programming language you need to learn. We have done a lot of tests with the game in different contexts and schools, and what we try to do is to make it available to as many devices as possible. So you can use it, of course, on laptops, desktops, Chromebooks. You can use it on smartboards like this one. You can use it on tablets, whether it's an iPad, Android, or Kindle, whatever is available. to the school. And of course, as I said before, desktops and laptops. All these are events that have been participated in inside schools. Another thing that we try to do is we try to give information to kids inside the game so that they can find their way on their own as much as possible, so that when we have, let's say, a classroom of 20 or 25 or maybe more students, the teacher can focus on those kids that need more help, while most of the kids can find their way on their own. And we also try to provide some feedback so that kids or students in general can understand what is going wrong. In this example, the player has put only 2 step forward instructions, while we need 4. So the hint shows us that Marco needs to do more steps to reach the yellow star goal tile. Another important thing is the platform that we're building around the game. And what you can see here is a screenshot of the class management module, where you can either add students one by one or import a file with their usernames and passwords. And then you can provide a unique class link to them, for example, through a class web page. And when they click on that, they are introduced with this very easy to use login screen, where they just pick their name, and the only thing they have to remember is the password that the teacher has given them. And once they do that, there is a separate profile for each student that tracks their progress. And so that, first of all, the device can be shared between more than one students if that is required. And but what's more important is that the teacher can monitor the progress of each kid in each class. And this is a dashboard that can either be used afterwards so that the teacher can see how the kids did, or it can be used while they are in the classroom. And it's very easy for them to see which kids need more help, and they can go to them and help them out. The other tool that we are going to release very soon, in a few weeks, will allow, first of all, teachers to create their own levels in the game using the same graphics that we do and the same characters. Easy for them to create, let's say, exercises, additional exercises for the students. And it's actually the tool that we also use internally to build Run Marco. So they will have access to run Marco itself, the full game, and be able to even modify that and adapt it to their students, or just create additional exercises. And this is going to be very easy for them, because the users of this tool inside All Can Code are not developers. So it's been designed from the beginning to be very easy to use. The other thing is that once a new concept, a new programming concept, is being introduced to a student through the game, we all know that this is not enough. They need to practice what they have learned by applying it to making something. So what we do is we offer the same tool to students so that they can create their own games. The difference is that the teacher creates actually coding games as an extension to Run Marco, while students create action games that can share with their friends. So their friends will not need to write code to play the game. They will just use some controls, like the arrow keys on a laptop, or some virtual joysticks on a mobile device. And in this case, the coder is not the player, but the creator of the game. So the students apply what they learn by programming the behavior of different game elements. And this is how they create a game that they can share with their friends and family. So as I said before, we are going to release the whole platform very soon. What is available today is, of course, the game and the class management tool that I showed you a screenshot before. So please feel free to go to www.allcancode.com, where you have access to the game in all different platforms that we support, mobile and desktops or laptops. And you can also sign up in the school page to get access to the class management tool. And once you do that, you will very soon get an email to give you access to the authoring tools for teachers and students. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Costas. If you want to stop sharing your screen.
Yes, of course.
You know what, because it's echoey. No. Okay, I think that's fixed. The echo has it. Yep. Okay. Thank you, Costas. That was a great presentation from yourself and from Vasilis as well. I really love how the teacher and the students are going, the new features coming out, being able to create their own pathways for learning. I also really love the way that you can use the Run Marco on any device. Some of the programs out there, you can't actually use them on any device. You're a bit restricted. You either make an app for an iPad or an Android, tablet, and then that's what you make, or you can go onto a computer and use a coding program on a computer. That's what's great about Blockly and what's great about code.org. That you can actually use the same sorts of skill sets that you've presented today on any device. So it's really, really fantastic. I'm sure a lot of teachers are going to get a lot out of this presentation as well. And, some teachers just want a little bit of a starting point. And the student management system that you offer with your program is, that's really spot on. Teachers wanting to be able to have a little bit of control as to where their students are at and knowing who they need to help and who needs to go on to the next levels. That really does help that. So thank you again. We didn't have any questions come through, which is fine. We've had a few viewers come in and drop out. But this will be available afterwards for anybody who would like to view it. This will be available later. I'm just going to share with you before we finish. I just want to share with you, so we should be able to see this now, the website. So this is codeforkids101.com is the website that has been developed to sort of house all of our webinars, but it's also got some great resources on there that link to the digital technologies curriculum as well. So please feel free to go on there and use those. The webinar that has been presented today, along with both Vasilis's and Costa's presentations, will be up there as well as on the Google Plus community Code for Kids. So if you haven't joined up to that, make sure you join up as well. Other than that, thank you for joining us today. And we hope to see you next time. So thank you, Costas, again.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. See you later.